Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jess. Today's video is near and dear to me, but not always in the best of ways. As you can see around me, things are starting to leaf out, green out. Great if you're a nature lover like myself, but that also means poison ivy's out too. I have been allergic to it for as long as I can remember. Always been a struggle. As I've gotten older, I have found ways to deal with it, and I'll go over a little bit of that later on in the video. But I want to get straight to how we can identify this plant and some common lookalikes. I'm going to bring you along on a little stroll and we will identify the plant and go over some things you can look for to help identify it. First thing in identifying poison ivy is to remember the saying, leaves of 3, let it be. Right here in front of us we have a poison ivy vine. First thing you may notice, the 3 leaves. 1, 2, 3. Got another set of 3 right here. These 2 leaves tend to be opposite of each other, having a very short, if any, stem to them. The middle leaf will have a longer stem attached to it. A lot of time the 2 opposite leaves will have what we call thumbs on them, and the younger leaves will have a reddish tint to them. Notice the poison ivy leaves are shiny. Shiny on the top, they will occur hairy on the bottom. Here's another example of the thumb I was referring to on these leaves. So, pointed leaf, but the leaf will have a thumb on it. What do you think, friends? Does this look like a poison ivy plant? Yes, this is poison ivy. Notice, it is climbing up the tree, and it has also grabbed on to some of these shrubs and plants in front here. Has the 3 leaves, the middle leaf having a longer stem to it, and is slowly vining out onto our main trail here. Now, in regards to the poison ivy vine, it can occur winding up trees or small shrubs, or even along the ground. The vine will appear woody, so if you're in the middle of woods, it's a little bit hard because it does kind of blend in with small saplings and trees. Just remember, leaves of 3, let it be. The poison ivy leaves tend to be pointy. There is a poison oak that does occur in several areas, and the leaves on the poison oak are rounded. I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer and show you the berries that are appearing on this plant. The poison ivy vine will produce greenish white flowers, and in the fall will have white glossy berries on them. Here you can see the berries that are forming on this poison ivy vine. How about this plant here? Does this look like poison ivy to you? I tricked you with this one. This is not poison ivy, this is actually box elder. Still has the woody looking vine. With the box elder plant, the leaves are in 3. There is a longer stem for the middle one, but you will notice the stem is red. This is part of the maple family. Maples will form opposite. A very close lookalike, but not poison ivy, box elder. Now, when we're discussing poison ivy, it's not so much the plant itself that is poisonous as it is the oil the plant produces. Poison ivy produces an oil called urushiol, and it is in a sticky form, and that's how it stays on your skin. The rash can develop anywhere between 24 to 72 hours later. There are times I can even show signs or notice that I've got poison ivy within 6 to 12 hours. The rash forms kind of some reddish bumps, bubbles on your skin. Of course, they do itch quite a bit. The best thing you can do if you know you've been affected, you've been outside in and amongst areas that may have it, come inside and treat the affected area. You can use rubbing alcohol. I like to use Dawn dish soap as it does cut oils. Typically, as soon as we come in, all the clothes come off, they go straight into the wash machine. I head straight to the shower and clean myself off. That does not guarantee you may not have poison ivy show up, but it will aid in maybe not as much. Another keynote that happened to me once, I didn't think about it. I had poison ivy oil on my shoelaces. I noticed I started getting an outbreak of poison ivy on my hands in between my fingers. It only made sense as I was tying my shoe, those oils were spreading on my hand. That's how I contracted it. Since then, it doesn't hurt. Throw the shoes into the wash machine if you can with your clothes to at least clean those oils off. Another thing to note, if you have dogs like we do, or any pets or animals, they can carry the oil. Our dogs run through the woods all the time, and you can contact it just by touching them. How about this plant here? Does this look like a poison ivy plant to you? This was another yes. We have a poison ivy vine climbing up this maple tree. What I showed you was these smaller baby leaves of this poison ivy vine. Remember, they kind of have a reddish tint when they're small. As they get larger, you will just have that green color to them. One thing to note, if you're trying to eradicate poison ivy, whether it be around your house, in your flower bed, on your farm, wherever it may be, you can spray it, cut it down. Whatever you do, do not burn the plant. As with any oil, you add heat to it, you burn it, it will release the oil vapors through the air, and a lot of times will cause more of an issue than if you just had a skin contact. Okay, here we have another example. Is it a poison ivy vine or something else? While we do have another vine here, and it is creeping up this maple tree, this is not poison ivy. This is what is called Virginia creeper. I feel like this is the most misidentified vine, and I say that because I feel like when people see a vine climbing up a tree, they automatically assume it's poison ivy. Not always the case. Virginia creeper does the same thing, climbing up, has a woody looking vine, but the difference here, we have 5 leaves. Poison ivy, leaves of 3, let it be. This one has 5 leaves. A very common misconception, and that is okay. When in doubt, don't touch it. But Virginia creeper you're okay with. And not only can this occur climbing up the trees, you can find it very close to the ground, in and amongst poison ivy a lot of the times. Now when it comes to poison ivy, there's a couple of measures that I take that I've learned throughout the years that seem to help me. I'm going to share them with you. May not be the exact same case, but it's an option for you to refer back to. If I know I'm going to be in contact with poison ivy or know I'm going to be in the area of poison ivy, what I will typically do is apply this Ivy X. I apologize for the roughness of this package. I try to keep these in vehicles and in the buggies that we have so that I've always got them nearby. This is a towelette, and what you will do is take it and rub it over any kind of exposed area that may come in contact with poison ivy. I will forewarn you, to me it feels like snot or slime, but I try to get past that point knowing that that is what's going to help repel the oils. I have heard of people applying Dawn soap to themselves in the same way to open areas that may come in contact with poison ivy. Those are 2 options you can do if you know you might get exposed to it while you're outside. If you've already been outside, you're not sure if you've been exposed, or if you know you've been exposed, there's a couple things that you can get through the store or you can make yourselves. I have not purchased this for a while, so I don't know the exact cost. It used to be $40 for a tube, but it is called Zanfel. You can find that in Walmart, your local stores, and it has a gritty feel to it, but it's a soap that you will take, rub it all over the exposed areas that may have come in contact with it, and that is supposed to help break up those oils. It's got the gritty feeling, so it really gets down in all the pores of your skin. Not a guarantee, but it will help and aid in it. I will link it down below, but I did make a video here not too long ago of plantain salve. Plantain occurs naturally in yards, open fields, open areas. You can take the leaves, kind of crush them up a little bit to kind of activate the properties within the leaf, rub it on your poison ivy, or you can take the leaves and make a salve out of them, and that salve you will take and put over the poison ivy, and it will help draw out the oils from within and also help aid in taking care of that area with the different additives in the salve. Last example here. Is this or is this not a poison ivy plant? If you guessed poison ivy on this one, you are correct. In contrast to the other ones you have seen that have vined up trees, this one is currently not vining up anything. It is standing stationary by itself in this little patch, and will probably continue to do that until it has something that it grabs onto and then continues to climb. One of the worst cases of poison ivy I've ever had occurred, believe it or not, during the winter time. There were no leaves on the plant. It was just the woody stalk, the woody vine stuck up out of the ground. I was planting some trees, rubbed up against the vine stalk itself, and got poison ivy. That is the one and only time I've ever had to get a steroid shot for the poison ivy, as it spread to my face and was just starting to cause issues around the eye. Just know, it doesn't necessarily have to vine up anything. Poison ivy can occur stationary like this. I hope you found this video helpful, informative. My goal is to help you identify what the plant is so that you don't have the repercussions of dealing with the rash like I tend to do. Usually, no matter what measures I take, I still end up with poison ivy. I've already had round 2 of poison ivy so far this year, and it's only the beginning of May. As always, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you stick around. If you found this video helpful, informative, give it a thumbs up. And until next time, remember, leaves of 3, let it be.